I was on a threads and I came across a post actually that was quite intriguing to me. So he said, agree. Definitely don't want to lose you no time soon. However, can I ask you a favor? And she puts a question mark. Can I borrow $80 until I get paid Thursday? I just started this job, so I just need to make sure me and my children eat until I get paid. Another message, anything will help, maybe $20 to $40. I will give it right back to you. I can make it stretch. Another message, you busy. And then he says, it's cool. Let me see if I can see that. It's cool, no big deal, but I don't think this is going to work out. If you can't be there when I need you, then you ain't going to be there at all. Now, mind you, he sent a message and then at 11:07 p.m. And then, yeah, so this other message was sent before. And then it was at 11:07 when she's like, you asking me for $80? And then the next morning, you busy? Because he still want that money. And then a few hours later, he's like, okay, you ain't trying to give me that money. You ain't ish. All right. So she says, how should I reply? I literally just met this man. I've known him for only a couple of days. All right. So this is the thing. Oh, she said, this is not from online dating. This is someone I met and exchanged information with. This is 3 days of knowing each other. And the man's already asking for $80 to help feed him and his kids. I'm gonna be honest, and we'll go and look at the comments after. But I'm gonna be honest with this. I wouldn't do it. Because to me, and I really don't like saying this because it's hard out here. Okay, and I get it. It's hard out here. People are struggling. I'm struggling. Okay. But I just feel like this. If you can't afford to date, you can't even afford to eat. You don't need to be dating. Because what kind of dates? If you can't afford $80 and you say you just started a new job, but yeah, you still got to save up money. So you can't go and tell me, okay, your first paycheck, you're going to go and take me out to eat. You should be saving that money up, especially since you got kids. So with you having kids, you definitely shouldn't be dating. Okay. Not saying like, okay, you got kids, you shouldn't date at all. I'm saying you have kids and you can't afford to eat. You don't need to be dating. Like, this is not to be mean, and this goes for man or woman. If your priority is dating and you over here eating ramen noodles, you gotta get that money up. I'm sorry. I don't care what you gotta do, if you gotta do legally. But I don't care. Okay? You need to get that money up because at the end of the day, your kids are going hungry at night. Meanwhile, you got enough time to go and talk to somebody and try to get the digits and get into the bed. And then you got the nerve to say, oh, you ain't going to be there for me. So this just ain't going to work. She's only known you for what? 3 days? And you already asking for almost $100? If she's only known you for 3 days? No, man. No. No. Okay? She's only known you for 3 days. Now, if you were her man or if you were someone where she's like who she known for a while, when I could even go with my own personal experience. Going to Sam's Club, card decline, no fault of their own at all. They thought it was like some fraud thing, so they closed the card, froze it or whatever. All right. And I was like, well, how much is the food anyways? The food was like 100. I was like, okay, I could go in. I took out my Discover, my Chase, and I went and swiped it. I was like, whatever, not a big deal, right? And then they went and paid me back. I think it was the next day or that day when they went to the bank and, called the bank up, was like, yo, what's going on? Whatever, But mind you, I already knew that person for months. You just met this person 3 days ago and you got kids and you asked me for money. I'm sorry, if you can't afford to feed them, you can't afford to be talking to me. This is no shade. This is not me trying to act like I'm, mightier and holier than thou or none of that kind of stuff. It's just simple. If you could hardly afford to eat and little Pookeisha can't eat, but you got the nerve to be trying to date. Someone's priorities are not right. All right. But let's go ahead and see What is going on, girl? Run. This is more from the post, so I'll just read this. It says, this is not from online dating. It says, are y'all noticing a trend here? Why are there so many men offended by this post? Hello, it was intended for insight. All this back and forth and overanalyzing investigation, it's too much. To all the men with attitude and nasty comments about women on clearly a male post, hey, aren't y'all brothers in arms? Go help out a fellow brother and hop to it. We don't know if he's going to make it. Love you, sis. And that's also another thing, you see a lot of these dudes who they meet these women, whether it's a dating site or whatever, however they met the person, and then they're like, oh, well, could you be my therapist? Like, they don't directly say it, but they want the woman to be the therapist. They want the woman, oh, could I stay with you? Don't you have homeboys? Yeah, I got about 15 homeboys. Why don't you stay with one of them? Why would you ask some random woman, could you stay with her, when you got homeboys that you could easily stay with? That don't make sense to me. All right, immediately blocked. Woo, that calls for a scorched earth. Run, girl, run. No, I barely know you. The end. And that's the dude saying, like, if I knew you, that's different. You're my sister, you're my brother, you're my, my grandma, my mother, whatever. Sure. But after a while, I ain't gonna be loaning money every other week now. Okay. But sure. But if I got it. But if it's something like this where I don't even know you, 3 days is not knowing someone. You know what I mean? No. Yeah, no. He doesn't have a family or friends he can ask. He should be ashamed of himself. And says, you don't post on social media for attention. And that's what she was saying. This is more of an insight of this is the kind of stuff that's going on. And your priorities are messed up. All right. Someone said, don't ever pay for a man. I say do whatever works for you in that regard. For me, I don't mind, because anyone who knows me knows that I splurge on people, because I splurge on myself. So I would treat you how I also treat myself. You know what I mean? So if I want to go out to a nice dinner, y'all, I've done $300 dinners for the two of us. You know what I mean? And yeah, is it a lot? Yeah, sure. But it's the experience. It's being with the person that you're with. So that means more to me personally. I know other people may be like, nah, I go to Red Lobster. You go ahead and get food poisoning, because I went and got food poisoning off them scallops, and I don't mess around there anymore. But outside of that, I'm just joking. There's nothing wrong with Red Lobster. If I didn't get food poisoning from that, I'd be okay. I used to, oh my goodness, them cheddar biscuits. But I can't mess around with them anymore because I got food poisoning, and I was done for an entire day, and it was on my vacation. I had to cancel plans. That's how upset I was. Oh my God, I was so mad. I can't mess with Red Lobster anymore. But there's nothing wrong with doing that either. But I want to go to a nice little bougie restaurant, and that's what I did. And I didn't mind paying. I'm like, okay, I came, got some money, things looking a little good for me right now, so I'm like, boom. And that's what I ended up doing. And I was, I'm not like, oh, well, could we split this? Or, the only thing I say, if I'm paying for something like this, and I'll say it, we are not getting shots. If you want a shot that's going to cost $50, you pay for it. I'll pay for the meal where you could go, and don't be getting no tomahawks now. Okay. But a reasonable thing. Okay. Like, we got a steak. I think we only got one because it was pretty decent size. But we got a steak, and then we got sides, and they're shareable sides. The sides are shareable sizes. And we got that or whatever. Got the steak, and I said, I don't care how many drinks you get, whatever, right? And same for me. I got like 2 little mint cucumber something drinks, whatever they were good though. Okay. So I don't mind, but I just say don't be egregious with it. Don't be getting a tomahawk, or I'm gonna get 2 shots which are each worth $50. You know what I mean? Don't order something where I wouldn't even order that because it costs too much. You know what I mean? But outside of that, I don't care. Get whatever. Go and have fun. If you want to get a beer, go and get a beer. You want to get some wine, go and get some wine. But I'm just saying, like, don't be egregious. If I wouldn't spend that kind of money on this, don't do it. I just feel like that's rude when you see people do that, when they're like, but you said you were treating, so I'm gonna get the most expensive thing on the menu. And that'll be the last time I treat. Okay. But outside of that, I don't care. Like I took my family when I was in Illinois, when it took, it was on my grandma's birthday in April and whatnot. I went and took her, my sister and her kids. We all went to Red Lobster. That's when I got food poisoning. But we all went to Red Lobster, paid for it. I was like, oh, thought it was gonna be more money than this. Oh, but I don't mind, you know what I mean? But don't be sitting up here, oh, I gotta get 3 orders of crab legs because I ain't paying for. Okay, no. If it's not me and one other person, I'm not even telling you I'm paying for this because I want you to just order whatever you would normally order. Okay, and then I'll be like, I'm paying for it. Oh, if I would have known, yeah, I know if you would have known, you would have gotten $40 more worth of food. We ain't doing that, okay? But anyways, I got off of this, but yeah, I just, at the end of the day, if you're worried about eating, then you don't need to worry about dating. Okay, not saying that you can't deserve some love and you can't want love. I don't want to say people deserve love, because you got some people who are just shitty people. But if you want love, I get it. But you can't be thinking that someone's going to hold you down and they just met you for 3 days. They've only known you for 3 days. They just met you 3 days ago. You can't expect someone to hold you down and be for you. You know what I mean? So that's all I got for this. But let me know what you think down below.